Mike Knoxxx. That's with 3 X's cause he's hardcore. Are y'all ready? I go by the name Fred Knoxxx. We about to give y'all something special. You ready?
And welcome back, everybody, to Around the Bloxxx with Mike Knoxxx. People, it is a festive day. It is a festive time of year. This is the last WWE pay-per-view of all time. Or this year, so I'll say, because the time should end for how bad this year has went. But we are talking about a pay-per-view last night that was, some would say, they were willing to go watch anything else but this pay-per-view. I was not hype about this pay-per-view. But what I was excited about, what was on my mind, what was the possibility of this pay-per-view being anywhere near as good as it should be, as good as the company should be. But as always, this company, the WWE, will let you down. Last night was not one of those moments. So before we get started anywhere, my name is Mike Knoxxx, and indeed I spelled my name with 3 X's because frankly, I am hardcore. You see everything below. Follow all the Instagram, the Twitters, whatever it is. You got it. We got it. Social media. We are there. We are close to 3,000 episodes accorded to the name of BDSR Networks, from hip hop radio in the UK, my man Mike Grandbody P, to numerous of shows. Just go ahead, as my man David Otunga would say, Google me. And as we're in this festive season, the holiday season, I want to say that honestly to you guys, thank you for always responding. Thank you for still being there. The hundreds and hundreds of Knoxxx fans. I appreciate you. And it's for you, and it's because of you, why today I do this show. I have not done a show in over a month. Shout out to Belt Kings Radio, my man. Okay? My kicks are my fix. Nephew Corey from the Wrestling Marks of Excellence. My tag team belt partners as Belt Kings, as you can see. Shout out to all the Belt Kings. Rodney, my man Mo, Dion, and everybody else out there. King Coley. You know who you are. But people, I'll be honest with you. I would not have done this show today if not for, and this is a WWE pay-per-view, what AEW did. And here's why. Before the rumors of what we're expected to see tonight or at the Rumble, wherever it happens, because you know dirt sheets are exactly that. They're dirt, but they're in the sheets. And you know how you're in the sheets, it get a little dirty. But when you're reading everything you're reading, when you're getting whatever it is you're getting about your wrestling fix, USA Network's complaining about ratings. You, the fans, have been bitching and complaining about ratings for 10 years. But AEW was so brilliant, and I haven't done a show, so I'm going to bring them up right now because this is probably the last show I do for the year. It is the last show I probably do the year, unless something monumental happens. I'm sorry, my Eagles hat's backwards. There it is. That's my quarterback, Jalen Hurts. And we lost and we suck, and that's okay, but I'm still representing. Go Birds! But if not for AEW, to me, being so brilliant and what their execution of the return of the man called Sting was, I would be remiss without having to say that's what got my heart pumping again for pro wrestling. Anybody who knows me personally or follow me long enough, over 3,000 episodes credited to my BDSR network, will tell you I'm not the biggest Sting fan. I'm an 80s Sting fan, the Surfer Sting fan. But I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm not dumb, I'm not blind. I know how to suspend my disbelief for the man called Sting. Remember that sentence or that phrase I just put, because it will take effect again later on in the show. Suspending the disbelief. But Sting coming back, and to my opinion, in seconds, 10 seconds, maybe 12 to be precise, Sting got over Darby Allin. and it had the heart of wrestling pumping again. And as WWE said goodbye to one mean Mark Callis, aka The Undertaker, and using him completely wrong, AEW says, here goes Sting. And one thing's for sure is just nothing's for sure. But people, with that being said, last night, to me, was a very brilliant show on many levels in professional wrestling. Again, why I started off this show by thanking AEW. Because the biggest separation of wrestling fans, like myself, amongst some who don't agree with me, but it's okay, you don't like it, listen anyway. And that is what we think about pro wrestling, what we accept from pro wrestling, what we expect from wrestling entertainment. And so again, I say, I would be remiss if we don't mention AEW, if we don't mention the rumors about USA saying we want the Attitude Era back. Before I go on and continue to high praise last night, I will say this to you Attitude Era fans. The Attitude Era was awesome. It was great, but it had a lot of bullshit with it, a lot of bullshit wrestling, a lot of bullshit storylines that we accepted that bullshit because the great was so great. I will proceed. And in last night's show, they did what WWE has far in between on the main roster especially, and that was tell stories in the ring. I have preached and preached to the point that you guys hate me preaching that wrestling is storyline. What's going on, Grand Body P? What's going on, Lewis? I'll give you a question in the comments momentarily. I almost gave the phone number out like if I was on live on Blog Talk Radio, 347-637-3859. I know it so well, it's like knowing the curves of my wife's back. It's just there. That's why I'm hardcore. Let's go on. They have not told these stories. Far in between. I look at the greatest wrestling match of all time. I look at the wrestler of the year. For what it's worth, Randall Orton. Wrestler of the year. And his matches, because it's Randy Orton, always tells a story. AJ Styles, for what it's worth, because of the, I'm sorry, wrong word, excuse me, if you will, so to speak, the things they put him in, the predicaments they put him in, who they put him up against, doesn't always tell a story in his matches. No matter how great AJ Styles is, it's not AJ, it's the storytelling of the match. And we have known and we have watched SmackDown for some weeks now. We see the imprint that they're allowing, not just Paul Heyman, but Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, them having some creative control. And in last night's episode of the WWE TLC pay-per-view, which, by the way, shout out to my man Wale, who, hey Wale, you know, you went when I first met you from you didn't watch wrestling anymore. Now you're watching all of it, and I love it as a wrestling fan. You should watch all pro wrestling, not just the main roster of the WWE. Like what you like, don't like what you don't like, but it's still all pro wrestling, and it's never the guys and gals in the square circle's fault. It's the promotions. Maybe, maybe not. Because I still blame wrestlers sometimes. Take what their mama give you and make it work. But again, last night, moving on, let's get through this, was just great because they told stories in the ring. Not just the stories building up to, which for a while, through the first three matches, I felt, man, these intro promotions of talking about the match that WWE always does so well, knocking them out the park, damn near on steroids like Mark McGuire, was great, but a little too long last night, right? But to open up this pay-per-view with AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, the second belt now because it's the Universal's #1 title, was amazing because it told the way that AJ Styles worked this match, the way Drew McIntyre sold this match, the way that The Miz came in and cashed in on this match, and people who didn't like it or don't like The Miz, I say, whatever, you have the right. However, it's not a waste of the Money in the Bank to me. Because I feel this way. At some point it was, if you win Money in the Bank, you win a title. That's not supposed to always happen. And then so they gave it to you and said, hey, let John Cena be the one because he's the one who could take the hit. So then Cena took it. So I'm okay with Miz not winning the title. Even if Miz would have won the title, I still probably would have been okay. But to see how this match went on, to see the psychology in this match that I do not get from a WWE matches all the time. They always give me story, but they never deliver a lot of times with the storytelling in the ring. Not that matches don't be good, but as a wrestling fan, you want to be able to remember matches. That's what makes us love each other. That's what makes us go back to the archives and watch certain matches because those matches were memorable. I feel that last night's matches, with a few cases, but this one especially, and this TLC match was warranted. Shout out to the champion, Drew McIntyre. Amazing match. AJ Styles, amazing match. It was an amazing overall match last night from this. I'm just in awe of what they did last night and the execution of last night's matches. The people who won these matches last night and all of it, because it really just blows my mind where they went last night. And excuse me, I'm just checking out my car, and I apologize, guys, here. It was just amazing to me on so many levels because they told stories in the ring that they haven't told for a while. And it needed to happen. It needed to happen last night. It should have happened last night, and I'm glad that it happened last night. Now, after that, you give us, and I agree Miz should have won. You give us Sasha Banks and Carmella. And I've been saying this for 2 years. Mella is money. And last night, to me, Carmella proved she still is money because where Nia Jax, Carmella separated themselves last night, people don't like Nia Jax. Nia Jax gets people hurt. People don't want to wrestle with Nia Jax. But what Nia Jax does good is what Carmella always does good. And that's everything else but in the ring is really good. Last night, Carmella showed she can go in the ring. And I, as a fan of Carmella, who never thought she can actually go in the ring, made me want to see more and lower there where she has developed her talents in last night. But again, last night in this match, it was just amazing. The winner, and should be winner, with the bank statement from one reversal to the next reversal, Sasha Banks. And then, after that, it got better. Because as black wrestling community like to say, every time we watch Monday Night Raw, black on black crime. What's best for business has been the Hurt Business. But we don't know exactly what the fuck does the Hurt Business do? Are they heels? Are they faces? Like I love the Hurt Business. Shout out to 305 MVP. Shout out to Sheldon Benjamin for dedicating this match to my friend, his close friend. May he rest in peace, Mr. Shad Gaspar, as they took on the New Day. And another good tag team match, and surprisingly, but needed to happen, the Hurt Business. Now they have 2 of the 3 or 4, counting the women's title, major titles on TV. And for what it's worth, against black on black this year and where this year has gone, the WWE, whether it's political or not, for what it's worth, have put the titles on people of color the entire year. And I'm happy with that as I was happy with this match. Then after that, oh my brother, testify. Because you got Beauty and the Beast, Shayna Baszler, and the aforementioned Nia Jax taking on Asuka. Who's ready for Asuka? And then the mystery partner, which I called, because she knows how to use social media. And how you use social media is like, if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, sorry for you, spoiler alert. When Mark Hamill's tweeted, have you watched any good TV lately? And I said, oh, hell yes, Luke. I waited 30 damn years for Luke Skywalker. I waited 3 months for the return of the greatest women's wrestler of all time, Charlotte Flair. And yeah, she didn't need to win the match, but I don't give a fuck. Sorry, Becky. And hey, we want some Bayley. Was the first, but now the greatest women's wrestler of all time, Charlotte Flair, is the Grand Slam champion. What a match. What a match. Not the best match. And honestly, at this point in the night is where the pay-per-view went down a little bit. And I don't care. And it's what the match wasn't the greatest, but I love the outcome. You may have not. I give it like a B match if I was graded on some curve like that. And then the match that, I don't know if you can see how I got my camera in the background going, was the Tribal Chief, your Tribal Chief, versus Stun the World, Mr. Kevin Owens. Fight. I see your comments, guys. I'm coming. Pause. Matter of fact, I might later be doing that too. But anyway, as I digress, that match was good. And I just want to say this, because I'm a Barry Horowitz myself. I am. I'm a Barry Horowitz myself right now. Because I have been a Roman fan from day one. And y'all didn't like Roman. And it's cool. It's professional wrestling. Right? I'm not going to say anybody's right or wrong, because you like people based off of gimmicks. That's how you like people. And y'all used to say Roman never left the Shield. Roman, didn't change like John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, like Seth Rollins did. Who, by the way, we haven't seen Seth in a while. Baby must be coming. And Roman has done that. He has separated, like Paul Heyman has said, himself away from the Shield. Everything about Roman Reigns is different. The way he talks, the way he tells a story in the ring. Roman always wrestled. But now the Roman you see in promos and in backstage interviews is the Roman you get in the ring. And I go back, and I'll be honest, I just said Randy Orton is the wrestler of the year. And yeah, before you say AEW fans, Kenny Omega's about 3. And here's why. Because Roman, and the half a year in which he's been here, if had gone 2-3 more months, Orton would probably be in trouble for wrestler of the year. Because when he cut promos on SmackDown and saying things like, I'm responsible for putting food on the table, and now I'm responsible for taking it off, kicks this man in the head and looks in the camera and says, have a good night. Everything about Roman is different. Everything. He is the wrestler. He is the comeback wrestler of the year. How about that? Roman Reigns, if I was giving out Plexi Awards, would be the Plexi Award winner for the comeback wrestler of the year. Not just because what he's done in the square circle, but what he's done to you, a wrestling fan. Roman is your Tribal Chief, and Kevin Owens could not have been over any more than he's ever been in the WWE. And I am an Owens fan. You see the fucking shirt I'm wearing today. I don't like the Stone Cold Stunner for him, but it's growing on me because I see what they're doing. And again, I opened up by saying Attitude Era-esque. Every match you've seen last night, especially this match, was brutal, and it was painful. And the things they did last night is what wrestling fans want. The problem with WWE is they're like a fucking yo-yo. Like a fucking yo-yo. And sometimes you just get fucking played around and you never get to walk that dog if you're not to play with your yo-yo. That's their problem. So we hope this continues. And off of last night, motherfuckers, it better. because you can do certain things without being disrespectful. And I thought they did that last night. You don't have to be raunchy like the Attitude Era was. You don't have to be raunchy like every once in a while I may drop an F-bomb. You just have to be honest to your fans and give your fans something that's believable. Last night, I hope you were able to suspend your disbelief about the show, because last night they put on the best show of the year. I thought maybe WrestleMania was better, and I'm talking about their best show of the year. So please get off me if you don't agree with, what I'm saying here. The WWE's best show last night to me was TLC. The match placement, we all talk about bad booking and placements. Everything last night was perfect. Every single thing last night was perfect. And it all was meaningful matches. That's another thing that was great. And then behind the scenes, they didn't waste your time with stupid backstage promos and things like that. Everything backstage, this is where I'm saying that you can see the change. I don't know who's back there pushing the buttons, but I'm sorry, I know it ain't Vince. Okay, maybe Heyman's finally getting through to this old man. Okay? But even the backstage stuff was meaningful. The stuff with Sami Zayn and Big E was meaningful. Old girl coming out with Asuka, Peyton Royce, which is funny, okay? I got my partner already. All made sense last night. No wasted moments at all last night. Now, to the main event. Now, this is where I say suspend your disbelief. This is where you wrestling fans have suspended your disbelief because you love the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. The cinematic live match, whatever the hell it was, I can't even call it. And it probably was live, but because it's on TV, they threw it in. They did a cut. They laid there in the ring while they did other things. Was awesome. Last night, you knew as soon as Bray Wyatt came out with the jacket on, he was going to burn. If you're smart and you're an intelligent wrestling fan, and this is the show for the intelligent wrestling fan, as you can see right there, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. You got it. We got it. Come holler at us. This will be on in the audio also later. But Randy Orton, and I loved how they kept showing the history. Again, the promos last night and why they hit, although they were kind of long, they told the story of the matches, which sometimes they haven't done in a while. The way they told it last night was definitely Attitude Era-esque. When you go all the way back to Orton burning up the fire, and that's just brilliant booking. Last night was brilliant. We saw a man get murdered? No, because the Fiend is not a man. He is not a mortal man. I don't care about you saw that glimpse of the spot coming out, because there were times in between the spot when you saw, oh, it's a mannequin, he was breathing. Then he went back to the mannequin. Then he was breathing. I loved everything about last night's show. 5 out of 5 undisputed titles, because last night, even though AEW is gaining steam and have all the momentum, I think Vince, and I go back to Bustle Up and Radio's Bully Ray Zone, who I do not agree with a lot of time when I listen to the show, and I'm a fan of the show religiously, okay, said the best thing for pro wrestling was what they did with Sting. And because what's best for pro wrestling is an angry, back to the wall Vince McMahon. And last night, if that's back to the wall, I can't see the rest of the painting and the picture on the wall. Royal Rumble, a month away, the end of the month. I love it. I love the placement of the Royal Rumble. That's where it should be, always, at the end of the month. I love it. Let's get to your questions and comments. Last night was awesome. I'm sorry. What's going on, Grandbody P? I am playing catch up right now, so I will add this input later. Okay, I appreciate it. He's in the UK. You think he's going to do one more match? And you say, when I say who one more match, talking about Sting? Absolutely. Absolutely, Lewis. I think that Sting will do more than just one more match. Miz winning the title would have been the double tap to Raw. He has been booked as such a non-threat doof. Darius. Here's my thing when it comes to the Miz, right? He's one of those guys. He's not Ziggler, where you never can believe it's gonna happen and they're gonna pull the trigger, but he's great. Right? I'm a Ziggler mark. He's great at everything but his name. All right? And the Miz isn't. The Miz has been world champion and not heavyweight champion. That was the WCW Big Goldie belt. Shout out to Belt Kings. It was the WWE champion was Miz. He beat Cena at WrestleMania. It matters. He has the TV show. He has the beautiful wife. Miz is a WWE lifer. So he can do no wrong. So him doing this, I am a fan of him and Morrison. I know people are getting tired of this stick, but I think Morrison is the perfect comparison to him. I don't think that it's necessarily funny, but it doesn't make my ears bleed like today's music, right? But so with that, Miz should have won, maybe. Raw needs a Roman, a solid heel, and Miz is not it. He has not been written as the guy who is losing in handicap matches. Him winning would have been horrible for the ratings, and they cannot afford to get that verse right now. Darius, again, I agree. That's why he didn't win. But you had to get the briefcase off of him. And then people say, wasted money in the bank. It's not. It's not, because to me, the Miz, goofy or not, he to me should have earned your credibleness. Or what's the word I'm looking for here, if you will, so to speak. He should have earned enough credit to you understand that at any given time they can pull the trigger. Again, suspending the disbelief and not forgetting who he is. Oh, Lord, here we go. Suck off the queen. Oh, yeah. Listen, have you not seen her? Have you not seen her, Mo_Eden on the Twitter? Have you not seen the return of the greatest women's wrestler of all time? Charlotte Flair is back. Okay, baby. All right, greatest female wrestler of all time, Billy. Let's go, Billy. Listen, guys, I am in favor of everything last night. It was awesome. It was good. It was unexpected. You had title changes. Again, shout out to, and may rest in peace, Shad Gaspar. To me, should be the Warrior recipient of the Warrior Award this year for his courage and what he's done, and saving his son and giving his life. And this year has been a bad year for wrestling fans. A very, very bad year for wrestling fans, and the loss, just the year itself. And on December 31st, if you will, we're not going to scream Happy New Year. We're going to scream Jumanji! Because we need this year to be over. And I don't think we're going to get WrestleMania next year. I had already booked my ticket, y'all, for Mania. I don't think it's going to happen, but I just can't. I got on the Queen socks today, too. I see you, Bo. I see you. Pass them joints to me when you're done. I need them joints in my life. Listen, guys, I just wanted to get on here. It had been a month since I did so. Please share this, like this, put it in all your wrestling groups that I may not be in or that I am in. Let them know this is the best damn show in radio. And them other shows, I mean, listen, I put nothing towards nobody. Podcast is like baby wipes, all right? We all wiping our ass with them. But you got to stay to the ones that are true to you, to their craft and what they love most. All right, guys, with that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.
Mike Knoxxx. That's with 3 X's because he's hardcore. Are y'all ready? I go by the name Fred Knoxxx. We about to give y'all something special. You ready?